Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I am so happy to announce that I've been invited to be a part of the Knott's Berry Farm Tied Up in Knots tribute show that runs from March 28th to May 18th. And within this art show we are tasked with creating pieces inspired by the farm. So for my piece I immediately thought of what if Boysenberry was in the Strawberry Shortcake universe, since the Strawberry Shortcake characters are based off of different fruits and more specifically fruit-themed desserts. So for my doll, she'll be called Boysenberry Pie. Before I get into my design, I want to talk a little bit about Strawberry Shortcake as a brand. So created in the 1970s by Barbie Sargent for American Greetings, the first batch of Strawberry Shortcake greeting cards were released to the public in 1979. They were of young-looking ragdoll girls named and inspired by treats like Orange Blossom and Lemon Meringue. In the 80s, the toy brand Kenner, best known for the original Star Wars toys, produced a line of Strawberry Shortcake scented dolls. Just like other popular 80s brands like My Little Pony, Strawberry Shortcake has been rebooted many times throughout the years and is still going to this day. In 1991, Toy Headquarters rebooted the franchise, but after 1 year, the line was discontinued due to poor reception. It then came back in 2002 with a more modern and casual appearance. In 2008, there was another reboot by Hasbro that would air a CGI cartoon on the Hub network. Lastly, in 2021, the brand received another reboot in the form of a 2D animated series. Today, most of the merchandise for Strawberry Shortcake is of the designs from the original 70s iteration of the characters, cashing in on nostalgia. So for my design, I decided to give her a boysenberry colored dress with a pattern on it and an apron with a embroidered boysenberry on the corner. For her hair, I decided to go with a wavy style tied up into pigtails. And lastly, for her hat, I call it the Piece of Resistance, is a miniature version of Miss Doolittle's crocheted boysenberry pie hat. So with that being said, let's get started. For the base doll, I started off with lime chiffon, and she also came with a little parrot. I went with lime chiffon as I thought her eye color was perfect, and also it was the cheapest one I could find on Mercari. Seems like the Strawberry Shortcake dolls are very sparsely rooted, so when I do a full reroot, it's going to involve more hair plugs that needs to be plugged in. So like all my dolls, I cut her hair down to the bare base, remove her head, and scrape out the insides with a screwdriver and remove the excess hair with pliers. I then painted her scalp the same color as the hair. And I got this hair from Shimmerlocks. I then started rerooting her, and like I said, I added a lot more plugs to make the hair more full. After the hair was done, I sealed it up with some fabric tack from the inside of the head. Now for the hard part is styling. So I decided to loosen up the curls by spraying it with water and brushing it out with a detangler and a comb. Here's what one side looks all brushed out and the other side still curly. I then styled them into 2 pigtails. Next for her clothes, I found this beautiful fabric at Joann's. May she rest in peace. I will miss her dearly. This was my first time working with a Strawberry Shortcake doll, and this is the smallest doll I've worked with, so it took a lot of trial and error. I made like 3 different versions of the dress before I settled with the last one, but basically I hand sewed the sleeves on to get more accuracy when it came to my sewing, but I also used the machine to attach the skirt. I also added some lace to the bottom of the skirt. Then for her apron, I just used a tannish color fabric and hemmed the sides and then attached the skirt and the waistband. Then I hand embroidered the boysenberry on the corner of her apron. And her outfit was done. Next is her shoes. I just took lime chiffon shoes and painted it with a brown paint. And lastly is the piece of resistance, her pie hat. Now I was going off of no pattern, so I'd had to do everything by just eyeballing it and testing things out. I thought of using crocheted sweaters as the fabric for the hat, as I do not know how to crochet that well. So I took the tan colored sweater and made the crust by folding a piece in half and gathering it. I then attached that gathered piece to the sleeve strip, which forms the rim of the hat. Next, for the filling, I weaved some tan felt pieces together to create the top and laid it over the purple fabric that I pinned to a styrofoam half circle so it keeps its round shape. Off camera, I then attached the filling to the crust. And lastly, the cherry on top, or should I say the boysenberry on top, I painted some mini pom-pom balls purple and made some green felt a bit darker green for the leaf. I glued those all together and then I glued it onto the hat. And of course, no Strawberry Shortcake doll is complete without their iconic scent. So I found this boysenberry scent oil from Amazon, and I saw a video on YouTube where it says to put the oil in the hair, so from the inside and from the outside. So I just put it through the neck peg and I also sprinkled it throughout the hair. Going down a Strawberry Shortcake rabbit hole got me obsessed with the brand, especially its 80s iteration with the 70s designs. So I wanted to get some little figures, as I just love their designs so much. Five Below has a wide variety of Strawberry Shortcake themed merchandise, and at first I was able to find my favorite character, Blueberry Muffin, in minifigure form by the loyal subjects. At another Five Below, I ended up finding a lot more of those figures, even a chase figure. I ended up going with Strawberry Shortcake and Angel Cake. And I caved and bought some of the 80s figures online on eBay from this seller. They're a lot smaller than the loyal subject figures, but I think they're super cute and classic. I got Strawberry Shortcake, Raspberry Torte, Orange Blossom, Lemon Meringue, and of course, Blueberry Muffin. Now back to the doll. I of course had to display her in a Strawberry Shortcake inspired box. This one is inspired by the 2003 reproductions of the 80s Strawberry Shortcake figures with a more simple box design, but with a beautiful insert of just a strawberry garden. So I redrew the background to be with boysenberries, and I made the front and the sides of the box with Illustrator. For the base of her box, I got this wooden chest from, of course, Joann's, and I removed the hardware with a screwdriver. Now for assembly, I printed it out at Walgreens and glued it onto a poster board with rubber cement. After that was dry, I cut it out and scored the edges with a ruler and dotting tool. Once they were scored, I bent them along the scoring lines and assembled them using double-sided tape. Once the insert and the sides of the box were done, I then had to make the front, and I had to cut out the window with an X-Acto knife. I also added a hanger on the back so she can be hung up on the wall. Then I just tied her in. And glued on the front cover. After the top was glued on, I created my logo, R2 Arts, based on the Kenner logo, printed it out as a sticker, and stuck it onto the back. And then of course, I added my signature. And now, after months of work, she is finally done. I also made some prints that can also be purchased at the art show, inspired by this advertisement for Strawberry Shortcake. And then she was sent off and put on display. The art show takes place in the factory store in Memory Lane. The art show features many amazing artists that I highly recommend you check out, support, buy the original piece, buy some prints, because everyone did such an amazing job with their work. My artwork is not only displayed, but I also have a little bio played on the screen to the left. Thank you so much to everyone for the feedback on her. Thank you if you saw her in person. Thank you for allowing me to be in the show. I am so grateful for this opportunity and just everything positive that came with it. It's been such an amazing experience that I actually struggle putting into words because of just how much I've been crying, smiling, just a whole whirlwind of emotions. Thank you so much to Pasta and all the other Knott's Berry Farm workers for creating the graphics, setting up the display, and making the whole show possible. Thank you, of course, to Emma for helping me, give me a leg up to be a part of the show, and I really hope I'm brought back for not only the Scary Farm show, but for other Tied Up at Knot shows for years to come. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye!